Hello, everyone. Ex-Bethelite here. Let's talk a little bit more about Thurston County and Yelm. Those are the two areas where we had the 3 hall fires and the shooting of Kingdom Halls. And someone asked a really good question, and that is, will the fires and shootings cause Jehovah's Witnesses to feel like they're correct, or feel like they're under persecution, and make them more solid in that particular cult? Well, the way I would answer is that is a yes and a no. Because according to the Jehovah's Witnesses, the persecution and the way that it is supposed to take place is not supposed to be former members lashing out because of Watchtower mistreatment, and government authorities such as the Thurston police force protecting Jehovah's Witnesses. That's not what we were taught. That's not what is supposed to happen. So for a Jehovah's Witness to feel that much stronger in their beliefs because of fires and Kingdom Halls being shot up, well, if these things are not happening according to Watchtower's predictions or Watchtower's teaching, that's going to possibly cause them to think a little bit. There's, from my understanding, a $36,000 reward from government agencies trying to find the person involved with the Kingdom Hall fires and the Kingdom Hall shooting. The entire system is supposed to be run by Satan the devil. So why would Satan be giving $36,000 to try to find and stop Kingdom Halls being burned down and shot up? That's not Jehovah's Witness theology. This probably, correct me if I'm wrong down below, but I don't think any former member, I don't know that there's ever been an ex-Jehovah's Witness that had $36,000 reward. I mean, they probably would have wanted posters up with the person's face or people and their faces and the reward money down below. It kind of reminds me of some of the old westerns where people have a reward for them and they're carrying around the paper with their own picture with the reward money. We don't know that it is a member of the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, but if it is a member of the ex-Jehovah's Witness community, I don't know that there has ever been anyone with a $36,000 reward for what you could definitely say is extreme activism. Torching halls and using them as target practice is definitely not something we are accustomed to seeing. It's definitely not something the majority of the ex-Jehovah's Witness community would partake in or involve themselves in. And it's not something that everyone, of course, would agree with. It doesn't stop it from being a reality. Because Watchtower, and this is what the police probably don't understand, is that Watchtower has done so much damage to so many people that it would be very difficult to pinpoint one person or one group of individuals and say they burned down this hall, or they shot up this hall, because the shunning is nationwide. The shunning, the damage, the destruction of people's futures. You got to understand that telling people that school, college, furthering their education, thinking about their future, telling people not to do that is extremely destructive anywhere, let alone places where Watchtower tends to flourish, which is poor neighborhoods. They tend to flourish in neighborhoods that are, not that well off, because you have people that they may not have much to be proud of. They may not have flowery titles as far as what they do for work, but Watchtower will give them any title that they want. You can scrub toilets for a living, and Watchtower has you up on a platform in front of everyone, getting respect because they gave you a title. That is something that is going to be very appealing in areas where people aren't that well off. And Watchtowers telling these people's children furthering their education is not a good thing. The end of the world is around the corner. So you can think about the damage that could do to a person, and the damage that it could do over a course of a long period of time. This person could be hearing this for their entire life, and then find out later that Watchtower had essentially lied to them and just used them for man hours to knock on doors and build kingdom halls for them, so that they could then sell those halls and get money, or so that they can then use the spill on whoever else that you bring in to the kingdom hall. So that alone could possibly infuriate a person to the point of retaliation. It's possible. It's happened in other circumstances that are not as destructive. People have retaliated for less than that. That's just one situation. Let's talk about the people that may lose someone they love, a family member, because the Watchtower organization told them not to have certain medical treatments that could save their life. A person finding out that their relative is dead because some entity told them not to take medical treatment because they just didn't want them to. I mean, it's not necessarily that it's in the Bible, it's that they kind of spin it that way, and now the person's dead and they're gone. People would retaliate for less. We can go into the child molestation scenario, where an elder or someone in authority could be molesting and touching children, because children are dropped off at kingdom halls to go door to door. Parent may have to go to work, parent may go wherever, but the kid is just, I've seen it where the kid is dropped off at the kingdom hall and they end up with whoever out in the community, wherever that person decides to drive them. That's where they end up. Or because a person is a Jehovah's Witness, they're sending their kids over their houses to spend the night, and they don't know much of anything about them other than they're a Jehovah's Witness, and they've been going to a Kingdom Hall. Well, that child could be molested, and it's happened. So it's not could be, children have been molested. Then when those children, and it takes a lot, but when those children finally say, hey, such and such has been touching me where he should not be, or such and such a woman has been touching me where she should not be, well, then you have a policy that Watchtower enforces called the two-witness rule. Now, there is no other religion that I know of on earth that is heavily on the side of the pedophile or the possible pedophile by saying that that child needs to have two witnesses to the event. That would never happen. That very unlikely that child will be able to come forward with two witnesses. And it's also Watchtower policy that you would go to the Kingdom Hall. You would go to those elders to handle the situation. You wouldn't go to the police, because the police and the outside authorities are controlled by the devil, right? This is the devil's system, right? So you wouldn't really trust those outside authorities. You would go to the elders, and if the elders took the side of the accused because the kid didn't have any witnesses, more than likely that person, in trying to fall in line and do what they think Jehovah wants them to do or God wants them to do, wouldn't then go report the person to the police, because they're in a cult and they're brainwashed to think that those elders must be right. So imagine the parent finding out later that that child really was molested. What do you think would happen? On a large scale, this is happening a lot. We're lucky no one has ended up dead yet. People would retaliate for far less than their child being molested, or their child being over somebody's house that might have molested them. You know what I mean? Or the child then growing up and understanding that they went through untold of trauma their entire youth, and then come to find out Watchtower was just deceiving them all along, taking people's money, making people build Kingdom Halls, selling those Kingdom Halls, making people donate their gold and property and valuables to Watchtower instead of to their family, where it should go, because Watchtower is telling them to shun their family. So, you know, when you're getting ready to pass on, don't hand those things down to your family, hand them to Watchtower. All the things that I'm mentioning is not beyond our comprehension that someone could retaliate. So this has been going on for a long time. Ex-Jehovah's Witnesses have been on line, been on YouTube. They have been marching outside of Kingdom Halls and assemblies, warning people in front of carts, warning people for years and years and years and years. And now it's finally happened. Someone shot up a Kingdom Hall and burned a Kingdom Hall, or there's caused 3 Kingdom Hall fires. None of us, from what I can tell from the last video, we're not even surprised. We're not even surprised. We just don't know why it never happened sooner. So the police, I don't think they understand that they're dealing with a cult that has done so much damage to so many people and continues to do so, that there's no way to stop this from happening. You just hope it doesn't. There's no way to stop. If people decide that they're going to burn down Kingdom Halls or shoot them up or retaliate in whichever form they see fit, whether it be planned out, whether it be a fit of rage when they find out Watchtower has been lying to them all these years, there is nothing anybody can do, because they've done it to so many people. This could happen anytime, at any point, anywhere in the country. It could happen anywhere. You can't. How are you going to stop it? By putting $36,000 rewards on the people? They're going to be paying out a lot of money if someone doesn't finally say, let's look at Watchtower and let's look at these policies. What is this shunning? What is this two witness rule? Let's look into Bethel. What is the Bethelite paid? Okay, well, you don't pay them. Well, what do you do with them after they've been in Bethel 10 years and you decide you don't want them no more? You know what I mean? Let's look into these things. Oh, you just kick them out? They've been working for you for free for 10 years and you just kick them out? Or you know what I mean? Or who cares? 6 years, 4 years, 3 years. They've been working for you for free, which includes pioneering for a couple of years. There's more than what they did just at Bethel. They most likely did a lot to get there, and then sacrificed even more once they got there. And then Watchtower decided to do what? What did they do to ex-Bethelite here on this video? They put his things in boxes and stacked them up in his car and told him to drop off your key and your dwelling manual. Bye-bye. How often they're doing too much to too many people. So the authorities, I have myself felt like calling the Thurston County authorities and trying to help them with their investigation, not so much in finding the particular individual involved or individuals involved, but helping them with their investigation in the sense that you need to know that this could be anybody, and you need to know that Watchtower is causing this. They're causing it. Let's touch on another point here briefly, because in the past we talked a little bit about, and it was another video that I did where we talked about the possibility that a shooting could happen. And it happened in Thurston. We also talked in the video that I did in the past about Jehovah's Witnesses being extremists. Watchtower trains people to be extreme. And then when Watchtower turns on them, they just turned on an extreme person. They train them to be extreme. Knocking on doors. Everybody has to do it. That's kind of an extreme thing where you got 12-year-olds knocking on people's doors. You're thinking about everything in an extreme fashion. Everybody in the hall has to do it. The school, quote unquote school, or whatever they call it now, family and home evening, whatever they call it. Everybody's got to be involved. Everybody. As far as medical treatment, you can't, don't eat blood has been blown to the farthest proportion of you can't even have medical treatments that involve blood. They cut you open, they're supposed to put water or marshmallows in you because they can't put blood back, because Jehovah's Witnesses look at everything in the most extreme form and fashion. And also the political part of life. You're not supposed to vote. You're not supposed to join the police force. You see what I'm saying? You look at the teachings that the Jehovah's Witnesses have, and they're all extreme. That means they're extremists. All their teachings are extreme. They're training all their members to be extreme. You talk to a Jehovah's Witness and everything's the devil, right? Oh man, the devil's just after the youth. The devil is just after the older ones. The devil is just in the schools. The devil is in the government. The United Nations is the wild beast, right? Everybody that gets involved with politics becomes corrupted by the devil, and he controls them. And you listen to these teachings, they are extreme. Excuse me. And then most Christians look forward to Christ's return, but Jehovah's Witnesses, they look at it in the extreme form, right? Armageddon, fire coming down is what they're thinking about. Earthquakes and angels coming down, killing everybody. And this is going to possibly happen. Not possibly. This is most likely going to happen very soon. Like tomorrow, the end of the world is going to happen. Great tribulation is what they teach, where the governments and everybody turn on Jehovah's Witnesses. And then Armageddon, where God kills everybody that's not a Jehovah's Witness, and then we got to clean up the dead bodies. And extremists, where we're out door to door picking out, I'm going to move in that house when God kills all of the homeowners. And I did it too when I was young. Hey, God's going to kill all them homeowners there, and I'm going to remove their bodies, and I'm going to move in that house. That is extremism. Normal people who are not extreme don't go around saying things anywhere near to that level. So Jehovah's Witnesses teach people to be extremists. The police need to understand that. They've taught us all to think in extreme